this is what the best thing, like Peterson, when I first heard him talk about Exodus, is that people just expect to go from freedom to promised land.
Right.
There's not an expectation of a wilderness.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anytime I ever thought I was advancing in life, I was always punched directly in the face by a wilderness.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about that. So in scripture, starting in the book of Genesis and really coming to its fullest expression in the book of Exodus, and then it repeats itself several times in scripture, is this idea of a wilderness. Okay, so this is a biblical motif. You might hear it called a motif. You might hear it called a design pattern. These are technical terms. Here's basically what the design pattern is. The wilderness is an arid, dangerous place where beasts, how's that for a paradox? And so in scripture, starting in Genesis and later on in Exodus, and then even in other books in the Old Testament, and then finally in the New Testament, you have the wilderness, the desert, a place of danger and a place of consolation. So figure that one out, right? And so the Israelites then go into the wilderness for 40 years where they encounter danger. I mean, they have to slaughter. That sounds awful. They have to kill all these tribes, you know. They engage in battle as they move through the promised land, other nomadic peoples. But listen, that's just the way the world was back then. You know, you had limited natural resources and you had these large number of peoples traversing a land. They're going to fight for those natural resources. This was the way that the world worked for a long time.
And do you think there's a metaphor there too, that you're in the wilderness, you're going to have to fight? Yes. Like your own demons, your own whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if we are, so let's boil this. Now let's sort of make this subjective then. So if you feel that you're enslaved to something and you envision freedom from that enslavement, bottom line, Peterson would say this, I think. God says this. This is what the point of the wilderness is. You will have to suffer to make that move. That's all there is to it. You can't move from slavery to freedom without suffering.
And the wilderness.
And
even Jesus goes through it.
For sure, several times, right? I mean, it
is the 40 days in the wilderness.
Yeah,
him, right.
Yeah, and then that is mirrored at the end of the Gospels as Jesus makes. It's a much shorter journey from him being arrested and imprisoned under Pontius Pilate to the freedom of the resurrection. So there's another paradox for you.